Hello, my name is Larry Dobrow. I'm the senior editor of MM+M magazine. I'm here today with Rick Morello, the president of U.S. Life Sciences for Aptus. Rick, thanks so much for being with us here today. Really appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, terrific. Rick, what are the biggest challenges to agencies and pharma brand marketers when it comes to integrating technology?
So I think the biggest challenge that companies and marketers face today with digital is certainly not to admit that digital has arrived. Digital has arrived, and these companies have prioritized it as part of really a C-suite topic. So that's a big thing to acknowledge. The next big step is really to make digital a systematic process within all of the commercial efforts that the company has, and to move away from, let's say, a mentality or a practice which is campaign at a time, to really integrating it into the commercial tactics, strategies, data analysis. That does not happen overnight. Companies are using a variety of tools to try to truly make it part of everyday workflow inside the company and with their agencies and partners. So I think some companies have probably seen some spots of success. This campaign did well. This brand had good success. But how that over time just becomes a natural part of the workflow, and they almost have a command and control mentality to all of their digital tactics and strategies, I think that's the next big step for them.
As drug makers face continued pressure on their business models, obviously nothing new, what are some of the ways that they can better communicate their stories and their messages?
Data and technology allow us to figure out more optimal ways to communicate with the right audience. So let's harness it the best we can. It doesn't happen overnight. And I look at banking as an example in the days of the ATM, let's say in the early 90s, of being a real transformational moment for banks. Oh my gosh, we're not going to have consumers go into a bank on a Saturday morning and talk to a teller. And the ATM was a vehicle where the banks thought, let's put everything we can possibly through that ATM. We have this captive moment. And they realized that consumers don't like standing outside and kind of transacting about mortgages and home equity lines. But then came web, then came mobile, then came apps. And so how that was then synchronized, banks are still perfecting, but they've come such a long way. I think the biopharma industry and life sciences can get there. Different regulations and constraints, but really looking at it holistically and not, again, in a siloed fashion, I think is what is next.
Mm-hmm. All right. Rick, thanks so much for your time here today. Really appreciate it and your expertise. I'm Larry Dobrow from MM+M.